Four groups, four guys.
Four groups.
Five guys.
Plus.
Alright,
Plus.
I
Are we live right now?
Yep. I just went live. Okay, so I highlighted my picks on the thing. That's my picks, but whatever. Okay.
I guess I should pull my picks up, huh?
I've got my pick 'em up. Let's talk.
Let's talk about shit. Alright, so we're here talking about the
Hi, guys.
PLCS. We're talking about our thing, world group stages thing or whatever. Somehow I got voted into being the MC. I don't know why, because I'm not a good MC. Yeah, I guess we should just start by going one by one through the groups and talk.
How about we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Well,
like...
that too, but I hope that they would figure out who we are. So.
Maybe
I'm
they
a
don't.
fucking
but-
screen, dude. Are you
I'm
kidding?
a mystery dude.
Yeah, you're right. Alright, so I am Andrew Piper is Piper. Here with me, we have Rich Jirachi Matias.
Maddies.
Maddie's. Whatever.
Close
I like
nice.
It's
my
close, it's close.
pronunciation better.
I like mine better because it's correct.
I hate all of you.
Alright, anyway.
That's Eric.
That's Eric. Guyy Fieri.
What's
Just Q.
It's me.
Then we have
the
Sean,
Guyy Fieri.
Menbung, Shannon, and then the sloth in the spacesuit is Max, Fish Baby Bot, Klauscher.
Hey,
Piper, you said
one and
man
only.
wrong.
What? It's
Piper, you said man bun wrong.
man bun.
Man bun.
Man bun. Man
Man bung.
Whatever.
I'm about to just stream porn on here if y'all don't stop.
I will take Discord off of the monitor that's being captured then. Like, have fun, but, you know, that's your prerogative.
Alright.
Oh my gosh. So anyway,
Today in things I didn't need to hear.
Okay, so I just really want to talk about groups because I think this is like my favorite time of year for League because it's like Christmas.
same.
You know, will
Christmas in
NA
October.
will NA actually show up? Will EU crap the bed? Will we get a different skin besides SKT? You know, all the good questions start here and they get answered later. I think what we were gonna do, we're gonna go around the horn, I guess, on here, and then talk about each of our predictions per group, and then how
Yep.
we came to that.
So let's
if
start with
anyone
Group
wants-
A.
Yeah, who wants to get started, and then we can all talk about Group A, and then just go per
I'll take it
group.
away.
Yeah, go for it,
I'll start
Eric.
off with Group A. So Group A, it's that. I don't want to call this the group of death. It's certainly a tough group, but it's not the group of death. But it's got SK Telecom, EDG, C9, and HQ. For me, what I did when I was trying to like kind of power rank each of these groups, I actually took each position, ranked each player, came up with a scoring system from 5 to 20, with 5 being the best. And interestingly enough, this was the only group where, position by position, my rankings didn't add up with what I was predicting for the group. I have SKT power ranked number 1 in the group, and then C9 power ranked 2, mostly off the back of Jensen and Impact, to be honest, in my opinion, in this group at least, matching up position to position. EDG power ranked 3rd and AHQ power ranked 4th. The only difference is I actually have EDG getting out of the group over C9, with SKT winning the group, and AHQ going 06.
I think that's the debate of this group is EDG versus C9 because
Absolutely.
I think I'm inclined to say I favor the Chinese team, but when I look at these rosters, I think there are some big mismatches. I think Mouse is not going to be nearly as good as Impact. I think the top lane advantage will be there. I think as far as I've heard, I'm not no expert on China, but I've heard Clear Love is slumping. And I don't think Contracts is playing up to par. I honestly think he's the weak spot of Cloud9.
I agree
have
with
not
you
been
there,
impressed with
Max.
this play lately. Yeah, so I think whoever's jungle can step up will have a huge impact. I think mid lane is hype as fuck. I think
Absolutely.
Jensen Scout, that could be super cool. But I think bot lane is actually another mismatch I would actually give to Cloud9.
Absolutely.
If for no other reason,
Yeah.
because Sneaky has stepped the fuck up. I was really impressed with his play, both at the end of the gauntlet and in play-ins. iBoy is young. I've heard really good things about Mako, but I think the fact that both Sneaky and Smoothie are very strong, I think I give it to C9's bot lane, honestly. So I was really initially, in my pickup, I still have EDG above Cloud9, but the more I think about it, the more I realize just how close that could be, and I think C9 may just edge that out over EDG.
Well, you
Well,
also
and
got,
if we're talking,
sorry.
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
You also have 4 more days to lock those in, so you can change your mind if you decide.
Oh yeah.
See,
And
here's
you also gotta
Okay.
not. I'm sorry to cut you off, Sean, but you also
No, you're good.
can't take Bang and Wolf out of the equation too. I mean, they are.
I think I would
Oh,
say
well,
it's
they're
a
gonna
given
win.
that SKT is number one.
Yeah.
I would say that's a given.
Sure.
If anyone says
Although they're
SKT is
slumping.
not number 1, they're wrong.
yeah, let's actually.
Although SKT looks the weakest they've ever looked going into a Worlds, I would argue.
Yeah, but
I'll-
it's they said this. Everybody said this last year about SKT, and then the world's buff hit SKT, and they won again. It's the same
You're right.
story.
You're right.
Okay,
I
if you
know,
can just
right?
direct your attention to my screen real quick. You say if anyone says SKT's not number 1.
Well, okay, well that's Sal. He's a support
Sal.
main trying to play carry. I mean,
Sal.
I'm just going through our.
Wait, what did Sal put?
Sal put C9 over SKT.
All right,
Sal,
I'm just
you're
checking.
dumb.
I'm
he
just
still
checking
loses, so.
Sal.
everybody's
you're
thing
wrong.
real quick. Here we go. All right, I just. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to. I want to. There are some people in here who are like, just trolling. Like, look, nature. Well, when we get there, but come on, man.
So, we've touched a lot on like individual laning matchups, at least between EDG and C9, since I think that's really the big toss-up in this group. One thing we didn't really
Who
talk
put
about.
EDG? Rob, please! Oh my god!
One thing we didn't
You might
touch
be
on.
thinking on the past when EDG has been known as like the King Slayers, when Pawn and Faker was like the huge big rivalry.
Wait, what did Rob
did
put?
EDG win China? No, who?
Yes.
EDG won
Yeah.
China.
No,
I think-
EDG did not win
Wait,
China.
EDG
Hoagie,
did
are
win
you
China 'cause
trolling
they
your
did.
Group B? What is wrong with you?
Okay, we're gonna go back to this.
We'll get
gonna
to
touch
the
on
Group
that,
B.
But
We'll get to
But
Group B.
no,
We'll get to Group B.
no. RNG won China.
No,
no,
dude.
no,
Edward
no.
Gaming was
They-
number 1 seed.
No, wait.
Edward
How did-
G. Yeah. EDG is the
that's
number 1
yeah,
seed.
that's the
They
one
won.
seed in Group A. That's right. Dang it. Okay.
But
So
the 3 Chinese teams are all super close, and there's like everyone's back and forth on who the best Chinese team is, and I know a lot of people were saying even like WE, the 3rd seed who was going through play-ins, like might be the best team, although they didn't look absolutely dominant. So it's,
yeah. So,
who
so
knows?
here's my.
Yeah, we'll
I-
talk about it too.
in Group A, for me, I did like the inverse of what Eric did. Like
So the
if
same
you-
thing but different.
Yeah. So yeah, like I rated them per, like position, and then like 4 is the highest points that you can get. So yeah, the be 20. So I have SKT at an 18 out of 20 because I have them at the top of the rankings for mid, AD, carry, and support with Faker, Bang, and Wolf.
I
C9
disagree with your. Oh wait, is this just per group or is this like overall?
per group. Per
Oh,
group.
okay.
Faker, Bang, and Wolf for like the best mid ADC and support in Group A, and then the jungle and Huni for like second best in the group. C9 has a 15 out of 20, and it's odd because I'll touch on it later, but like well, I won't spoil it now. I'll talk later.
Oh.
C9 I have 15 out of 20. EDD I have 12 out of 20, and AHQ has a 6 out of 20. The only one that they're not last in is in the AD carry, just because I really don't trust iBoy because he's like extremely new. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like extremely new.
I
I
think
mean
he
like
played like 20 games pro.
games, not
Right.
matches. Like games. That's like 4 best of 5 series going to 5 games. Like
Right.
that's how much he's played professional League of Legends. I don't think Huni is as strong as people think that he is, and the fact that they chose Blank as their sub instead of Untara, I think helps SKT in the long run, as long as they don't play against somebody who has a strong jungle top duo. Because I think if you can do what Longzhu did to Huni in game 3 and 4,
It's just game 4 because they won.
yeah,
game
especially game 4, but that was different. That was with a carry matchup into a Cho'Gath.
3. Yeah.
Con.
And I
Oh,
don't-
the
I don't
lord.
think- yeah, but I actually think that the way EDG wins and gets the second one, because I have SKT, Cloud9, EDG, AHQ, and the only reason I have Cloud9 ahead of EDG is because I believe that C9 and EDG will split, but I don't think Cloud9 loses a game to AHQ, but EDG will split with AHQ. So That's my thing, because AHQ, EDG, I think maybe like 3 out of the 4 times that we've had group stages, they've been paired together in groups, which is kind of interesting.
Hmm.
And this
Okay.
is the second time EDG and SKT have been in the same group as well during Worlds.
Yeah.
Now, that year, they both got out, but I think this year's Cloud9 is looking better on form. And if we're talking about just the meta overall, it's a very bot-centric meta. Like, whoever has the best AD carry generally is going to win when it comes to team fights because of all the hyper carries and the tanks that you see at professional play. And so that's why I have Bang and Sneaky 1 and 2 respectively in this group. And I think that because their mid laners are also 1 and 2 on my list, at least Faker than Jensen Scout, I think that it's going to bode really well for them getting out of groups.
Cool. Basically, Sean, our lists are like exactly the same. And for me, the only difference is when it comes down to the matchups. Because I can see EDG taking the game off SKT. I can't see Cloud9 doing that. That's just the difference. And I think that that's where the difference comes in, because I don't think EDG loses to AHQ. I don't think C9 loses to AHQ, but I think C9 loses to SKT too, like both games.
I think the only way that, because it's best of ones, and I think the only way that C9 beat SKT in one of these is if Contracts right here, Mr. Juan Garcia, like if he gets rolling, because he looked really freaking good in play-ins. Granted, it was play-ins, and like they were just stomping these kids left and right, but that's really the way. If him and Smoothie have a really good synergy, because I think Mako Clearlove is by far the strongest jungle support duo in this group, but playing around Mouse and iBoy for top and bot, you know, because Scout's going to do what he's going to do in the mid lane, and like just, they're kind of like, in some ways, like, I want to compare them to someone in the next group as an Immortals. Like, they're Chinese Immortals in a lot
I
of
can
ways.
see that actually.
But Flame, in my opinion, is definitely a better top laner than Mouse is right now, at least for like doing what he needs to do for his team. Mouse has got really good flank TPs, but it's going to be really interesting. If they were in any other group, maybe, and they didn't get SKT in here, maybe they get out, but I don't see it, especially with actually having seen Cloud9 play on this patch.
Yeah.
Can I make a point about contracts? You made an argument there. I think the meta in the jungle may be shifting in his favor. One of my biggest complaints with him is that he would be over aggressive to the point where it was unintelligent. But if he's able to pull off these warrior junglers like he has been, then I could see him really influencing C9 really well. Like, I noticed he was playing warrior junglers before a lot of other people, and I think if that turns into the meta, it'll be good. If I don't know if you guys saw the stats, but he put out like double the percent of damage of any other jungler in all of play-ins. Like, he was by far the most damaging jungler.
And he still played a lot of Sejuani too, so it's not like he was just playing Rek'Sai Jarvan all day.
Yeah, I mean,
but if the meta shifts towards that Rek'Sai Jarvan, Ezreal, maybe Nidalee kind of thing, I could see that really, really playing into his favor, because I didn't see the meta shift too hard during play-ins. But it's entirely possible in a best of one scenario. An Ezreal jungle level 2 cheese with double buffs, that could absolutely win you a best of one against SKT. And I mean, it's wild, it's out there, but I could see the meta really favoring Contracts in Cloud9.
I never thought I'd see the day since I started playing in Season 4 where we would start talking about a meta where Ezreal jungle is a top pick. But here we go. Alright.
Well, when you started playing in Season 4, Ezreal, Corki, and Graves were all in different lanes, so.
You're right.
Yeah, that's true.
You're right. So,
The one thing we didn't really touch on, if I can really quick,
sure, go ahead.
was ADC and support synergy, because I think the biggest thing that C9 advantage-wise has actually over EDG is that Sneaky and Smoothie been playing together as a bot lane now for like a year and a half almost. And like we said earlier, iBoy's been playing for like 20 games. Mako's played with 4 different AD carries in the last year since Deft. Like, it's there's no synergy there, and I think if Cloud9 can get themselves in the games against EDG, can get themselves drafted into a really strong 2v2 lane bot lane and really play around that advantage, I think that's their key to that victory. But I don't know if they can do that and win it hard enough.
Yeah, and just the last thing I want to touch on before we go, we wrap this group up, is just that while the jungle meta is different a little bit, because like there's just more stuff you can play around, it's still, and Ardent hasn't been changed on this patch like it has in live, so it's still the abusive Ardent sensor that it is. Also, like, you don't I don't think Nidalee Jungle will come out. I mean, it may just do it for like the best of ones and like be something like, oh, hey, we didn't see this in scrims, or something to kind of pull cheese on them. But like Nidalee Jungle, if she doesn't get going ahead like the Ezreal Jungle, puts your team at such a disadvantage come late game team fights and sieging. So.
An argument there. It depends on the comp. If you have enough of a tank line, you can make it work totally fine. If you have an Alistar support, I think it's fine. My favorite team comp I have ever seen, and I think Cloud9 was the one that did it. I don't remember. Jarvan top, Nidalee jungle, Galio mid. Holy shit! I love that you bring the damage from Nidalee, but she's also you build our sensor on Nidalee anymore because she already gives that attack speed steroid. So that's she plays kind of like an Ivern, but way more aggressive. She still brings a lot of damage, and if you could fit her into a team with a strong tank line, I think it could work, and I think now they're going to be playing more games than they did in the play-ins. Every game I felt was more impactful in play-ins because they just played less, so you couldn't be as risky. With this, you could pull out the cheese in a best of one, and if you lose a game to SKT, oh well, you pretty much expected to lose that game to them anyways, and you'll get another one later. So
yeah. Only problem with that comp is like damage output, unless it's like a Jinx or Twitch or Kog'Maw at the end.
That's what's meta though. So Sneaky pops off on Twitch. Tristana's good. Xayah. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk to super quick. Again, Sneaky's a beast, playing like a beast. I like your. I forget who made the comment on them. Their synergy bot name.
Eric.
Yeah, I definitely. Not only is there synergy there, but Sneaky is on an upswing, and if he keeps playing like this, I think they would do very well against EDG's bot lane.
Cool. Anybody have any other thoughts on Group A?
I'm feeling good.
So.
Let's move on.
We're ready to move on to Group B.
Yeah.
So,
I'm excited to talk about this group.
Yeah, me
Do we
too.
wanna?
This group's spicy.
Yeah.
Just before we go into Group B, do we want to do I know Eric and Sean already said their predictions, but do we want to run through me, Max, and Piper?
Yeah,
what
let's do
our
it.
predictions
And
are?
then if you're lying, I can find out.
Well, you can go ahead and look mine up, but so if you want to put that on,
Yeah.
you can. But my
You're not in the group.
I can.
I put myself in the group. Mobile. What the heck? I'm gonna have to sue someone. This
I was
is
gonna-
the worst.
Oh my god.
All right,
I
we'll
was
go to
gonna
Rich
say,
right now.
I can save you the trouble clicking on me, but I do have SKT first and then Cloud9 second.
Yeah,
So
that's.
I think with how Contracts has been playing in play-ins, I think maybe some of that confidence will translate to the matchup against EDG.
That is the one thing that some of these young rookies, like in the next group, we're going to talk about Fnatic, and they have some rookies playing in it as well as Immortal.
Dude, the next group has a shit ton of rookies playing.
Oh my god, yeah.
But it's just like maybe people like Broxa, and Caps and Contracts kind of benefited from actually playing in the plans.
That's a good point.
All right, so Group B, we have Longzhu, Immortals, Gigabyte Marines, and Fnatic.
Okay,
hilariously,
I
it's
would
the same
love-
order I have them in.
I would love to start this group out because this
Go
group
for it.
is so. Oh man, this is good. Like this isn't the group of death because there's like technically not a group of death unless you want to count C.
No, there's a group of
Group
death.
of
We're gonna talk about that.
I feel like group. Okay, we'll talk about what group of death means later to everybody else. But like, Group B right here is so spicy. Like, I'm not as hype about Gigabyte Marines as I would have been if they would have still been the same Gigabyte Marines as they were at MSI. Because they're not. They got Archie in the top lane, so like whamp, whack. But like Longzhu is like they are in my rankings. I have them 19 of 20, which probably means that Eric has them maybe like 6 of 20 because he did like the
6.
reverse.
They are 6. The only one who isn't number 1 of the position for me is Cuz.
It's Cuz, exactly, because Smithy's the best jungler in this group. So here's the thing. It's incredible how well they're going to play this group. Like really, this is the freest 1 seed. This is if I had to bet money on anything, it'd be Longzhu coming first in Group B. Because and then when it comes,
they have advantages in every lane except for jungle.
I think they may lose a game because I feel like come either game 1 or game 2 versus Immortals or possibly Fnatic. Because I don't think they're gonna. I don't think that if they play.
I disagree.
The advantage that Fnatic has over most teams is their 2v2 lane, and that's reckless.
But they definitely don't have it here.
That Fnatic has, if any, is that they come from a region where every game is a fucking clown fiesta.
All right.
Bring that clown
There it
fiesta
is.
style.
There it is.
Piper is bringing out the spicy.
No,
Damn.
I'm being.
And
The
Mike
thing is, you
Meatball.
think I'm memeing? I'm being completely serious here.
I know.
I'm not,
I-
I don't think you're memeing. I think you're just being spicy. There's
Yeah,
a
but
difference.
I'm going to be honest. I think this is the worst that Europe has looked in professional League of Legends ever. Compared
It's
Except
to
for
Fifth is their
G2.
number 2 seed.
Except for G2.
No, even G2.
Even G2?
G2,
No, I disagree.
G2 doesn't even look that great.
G2 looks like
I
the
just-
gold medal winners at the Special Olympics, man. Like, you know, they got a medal. What does it mean?
I was gonna say Trick has fallen off a cliff, but like,
yeah,
that
and into a
too.
wheelchair.
But we'll talk about G2.
Well, yeah, we'll get to G2.
Oh my. Okay, so as we talk about Special Olympics and people's. Okay, so I have Khan, BDD, Prey, Gorilla all at the top, and then Xmissy's the top jungler.
Yep.
Followed by Flame,
100%.
cuz Po Belter's actually the second best mid, and you can't fight me on that. I will not break.
Belter,
Caps hasn't looked very good.
optimistic. Yeah, I would not fight. I wouldn't fight you on that.
Okay.
Whoops, stop. I actually did put Caps number 2.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you
you
can't.
I
also
think-
like Team Liquid, so.
Oh. He likes
Golden Glue's
amazing.
the best in mid, not at Worlds.
And maybe it's. I'm looking at different things in a mid laner, but I think Pole Belter is not a playmaker. And
See,
Caps
and that-
can
but-
be.
I think he can be.
So like,
But he doesn't, though.
when you look
He
at
just kind of
Fnatic,
does whatever. He just works around his team and does whatever they're doing.
but when you look at Fnatic as a team, like they're like Cloud9 light, like 0.25. Okay, you got a stable top laner in Soaz who's a veteran, Impact.
Mhm.
You got a
Yeah.
young rookie jungler, Contracts Broxa, okay, who've been playing
Yep.
for only a split, and then you have a mid laner, which is the Jensen carry. They play around mid a whole lot. Caps has to get going and get resources. When they try to feed Reckless all this stuff, though, you just see him in the side lane the whole time. And so they put
Well,
him.
that doesn't happen anymore, though. That's
No, they've
I mean,
they've shifted
that's
to
part of the
Reckless.
plan. What are you talking about? Reckless
They've-
is in the side lane for like 10 minutes.
That's because
They
they're trying to. Yeah, they've shifted to a reckless centered comp, but he is too inconsistent for my taste to build a
You
team around.
think?
I think he's too
So-
inconsistent.
Well,
I think
I don't
both
think-
Caps and Reckless. I think Caps is more consistent than Reckless because I think Caps is consistently
Bad.
a little worse. I think he.
I was gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I was like, oh wait, I see where this is going.
No,
Yeah, I agree
I
with
think
this.
Caps has high highs. I've seen he can make plays, but I think he's far too young to that. I don't think he's gonna show up on this world
He's
stage.
consistently inconsistent.
I guess
That's what I'm getting.
Consistently.
No. Okay, yeah, that's. I think his skill level stays more consistently around the same level. Whereas Reckless will carry the fuck out of games, have good positioning, and then did anybody see that play where he tried to back on a pink ward and then got Gragas ulted into the entire enemy team?
Yeah,
On a
it just-
pink ward, motherfucker saw the ward and was like, "Nah, guys, I'm good." That
well-
right there, that was the game that they lost in play-ins against the Vietnamese team.
Young generation. yeah.
Yeah.
YG.
And
that's-
guess what? They're against the number 1 seed Vietnamese team.
And that's
Ooh.
that was a point that I wanted to bring up when Sean, you mentioned earlier how Fnatic's advantages mostly come from their 2v2 lane, and I disagree because they got
That was
fucking
me who said
shat
that.
on by Young Generation.
Uh huh.
Like the
I'm
Young
just-
Generation
I'm just-
bot lane put a clinic on how to beat the fuck out of Reckless, and I was like,
hang on.
It was good.
I
It was.
think-
They played really well.
I think my points were misunderstood here. When I was talking about Caps being number 2, and I have Reckless as number 2 AD carry actually also in that group, it's not me saying that I think that's better. I think those players by themselves stack up better than the Immortals version of that player. But I don't think that the rest of the team can stack up enough to make up the difference against Immortals. And I actually
Okay.
have that Fnatic's going to lose a game to Gigabyte Marines. I have that Longzhu goes 6-0, Immortals goes 4-2, Fnatic and Gigabyte go 1-5. So I agree with everything you're saying about Fnatic playing like monkeys and not being that. But they do still have potential out of their AD carry
Okay.
in their mid positions.
So here's the reason why I think they can obviously lose one to Gigabyte Marines. I don't think they will. I have them winning both those games and then maybe taking a game off Immortals, but then Immortals, like, you know, you 1-1, 2-2, and then 0-2 against Longzhu or whatever, and then maybe a tiebreaker game. But I just think Immortals overall, Xmithy is going to outclass every one of these junglers, and the way that Immortals
Not just Xmithy. Xmithy with Olay is going to outclass every jungle support synergy except for Gorilla and Cuz.
Well, I mean, Gorilla is more of the weight in that, but
Yep.
so I think
He
that
still
that's the
has
way
synergy with Cuz,
they
though.
take. That's the way they take a game off of Longzhu, is that they put Cuz
It's not going to
behind.
happen.
I
It's not
mean,
going to happen.
well, I mean, I think it could because they got Song in there as their coach. Song's, I mean, he's not.
Oh
only-
yeah, he was the old Longzhu coach. I'll give you that.
Well, he's the old Rocks coach.
Rocks coach. I
For
thought he
so he
coached for-
knows
I thought he
Prey and
coached for
Gorilla
Longzhu, too.
fairly well, and it's just I don't know. Fnatic Gam has like 5 out of 20. They're my lowest ranked team out of everybody.
They're probably my lowest strength team out of everybody too. Hang on, let me look.
I mean, they're my lowest ranked team through like all of these like 5 out of 20s.
Fenerbahce's actually my lowest ranked.
Yeah, they're 5 out of 20, but it's only because of what group they're in. I think AHQ is the worst team of all the teams attending Worlds.
Wait, did you really put Broxa above Levi?
I did not. I put
I
Yeah,
would
below
never agree
Levi.
with that. No, I think Broxa is far too inconsistent. Somebody
Yes,
made
I
a point
agree.
in one of the Fnatic games about how Fnatic relies on Jesus to engage whenever they have Broxa playing Sejuani and Gragas. Like, that is unacceptable.
Yeah.
That is that man's job, and he is not fulfilling it. And he's young. He's inexperienced. I don't think he'll show up. Levi showed the fuck up at MSI. I would
Yeah,
absolutely put at least him above Broxa. That's
So here's my thing with that is that it was really hard for me to to judge them individually like per against their counterparts in there without thinking
Yeah.
about how they work as for their team,
Mhm.
because like I would never expect Xmithy to like carry a game like on a carry jungler as much as I
but
would
he will play the fuck out of some Sejuani.
unless he misses an ult or something like
But
that.
okay, you
That was
say that, but
years
like,
ago.
yeah, he's like much. He's been a lot better this split and not
That was 3
missing
years
ults.
ago.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
he missed one
That's-
against Biofrost. It was huge.
That's a. It's a
He
very.
They were
it's a dead
tilted.
meme.
That was
yeah,
a
they were
tilted.
Dead-ass
tilted.
meme.
Yeah, just tilt him.
Yeah.
I think
Hashtag
Xmithy is by far the best jungler from North America. I think,
100%.
he's an extreme veteran, but this brings up my point I wanted to make about Immortals, is that they have choked as an organization in playoffs past within NA. This is
Well-
their first Worlds, so I think they lack the international experience.
And
to
also,
show
meanwhile,
up
in the
when they
bot
need to.
lane,
I'm gonna play devil's
Yeah.
advocate here. You say that they've choked
Okay.
past, but look at the teams of past. It was Huni, Rainover,
Exactly, they're
Wild
very
Turtle,
different.
and Adrian that choked, that had the reputation for choking. It wasn't.
And then when you
Uh-huh.
talk about world experience, I mean, like, Pobelter, because this Pobelter's
Pobelter-
first words. This
no,
is
it's his
Pobelter.
second. It's his second because he went to World Season 5 with
Yeah,
CLG.
with CLG.
And it's
Which
Xmithy's
was
third,
a year
and I
ago,
think it's
or 2 years
Flame's
ago.
second.
And,
I think it's Flame's
Wait,
second.
wait. What?
and if
hold
I
on.
may offer a little bit of insight here, I don't think this version of Immortals choked in playoffs at all. They played
No.
very well in playoffs.
They're just not as good as
Uh-huh.
TSM.
Aside,
Okay.
was a
aside from Game 4,
yeah, the finals
like-
was a 3-1.
yeah.
They had a 10k gold lead, and then Sven, Garen, and Biofrost got some massive engages that allowed
Yeah.
TSM to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Biofrost was
Yeah.
freaking
They didn't
gone.
choke.
It
They
was-
just aren't as good as TSM.
Like,
Yeah.
TSM played the fuck out of Game 4. Like, not the beginning 20 minutes, they, like, got shit stomped. But then
7-0
after 20
and
minutes,
8-20.
Biofrost was like, wait, I want to win. And so he did.
Became Godricon, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, Piper. I think you actually read the transcript.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I read the script. I got it from the Riot scriptwriters.
And if I may just offer, and Immortals, like, yes, they have this experience on the top side of the map. Pobelter's, like, kind of middling, I guess, with experience, at least with Worlds, but, like, Xmithy is a veteran, same with Flame. But meanwhile, in the bot lane, you've got Cody Sun and Ole, both at their first Worlds. Cody Sun, this is his first year. He was a rookie in the
Another
spring
rookie.
split,
Yeah.
but he's still a rookie at Worlds, and
Uh-huh.
I mean, it can make the comparison from NA, I guess, to Biofrost last year,
Yeah.
who, yes, he looked good domestically, but did not show up at Worlds, which, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we have-
combat that with. I'm a combat that with you a little bit
Okay.
because I think the top half of the map for Immortals is what's always been strongest, at least in this iteration of Immortals, and it is
In every
and it
iteration.
is still. Yeah, true. Even in last year's Immortals, right? And I think Flame and Smithy are so good as a duo, and I think Flame and Plowbelter play well around each other. And I think Ole, while this is his first Worlds, he has so much experience in professional League of Legends. It's not
Yeah.
like he's a spring chicken. Like he's
Yeah.
still really freaking good, and he's not gonna go onto the world stage and be all nervous and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I still even combat the Cody Sun versus Biofrost thing because Cody Sun's been playing now for 2 splits. Biofrost was playing for 1 split.
It's fair. What I will say, even saying this, I still have Immortals getting out groups in second.
Oh yeah.
There's just no way they win in quarters. I think.
hate to cut people off. We are about to crest the 30-minute mark, so I kind of want to get moving on to Group C. Before we do that, let's give final predictions for this group.
I haven't voiced my opinion yet. Can I go ahead? Oh no. No. No, I mean on group rankings.
Sean, for the record, I flipped my picks just to be a fucking troll.
So number 1 is
I'll fix them now.
I obviously have Longzhu number 1 out of Group B. This I feel like I'm not sure how I'm not set in stone with this, but right now I'm feeling Gigabyte Marines number 2. I think
Gigabyte number. Ooh.
I'm running Gigabyte. Yeah, no. This is kind of my long shot prediction here. I don't have a lot of faith in the inexperience of Immortals in the world stage. I think that somebody had a really good argument that Flame and Xmithy are super experienced, but I like it. But let me just say that how many top laners and junglers were in the top 20 players at Worlds list? There were like 2 from
2. There's 2 each.
Top and jungle are some of the jungle is debatable, but those are the 2 least impactful positions at the moment. It is a very bot centric kind of meta, and we pointed out the inexperience on the world stage of the Immortals bot lane, and I just think that Gigabyte Marines are totally fearless. They wanted to be in a group with SKT just to show the world what they can do, and I think straight up I'm basing this prediction off of their confidence going into here. So player wise, I could definitely argue that Immortals are better than Gigabyte Marines, but I still have Gigabyte Marines getting out of groups. They have more international experience and more confidence, and then I have Fnatic last, Immortals third. That's my Group B prediction.
The only thing I will say that lends some credibility to what you're saying is that this is about, if Gigabyte Marines wanted to make quarterfinals, this is about the best group that they could have to do it in. They've got the number 2 NA team, the number 3 EU team, 1 Korean team, no Chinese teams. Like, this is about the best group that Gigabyte Marines could get to make it happen.
Yeah.
I think Archie's too much of a liability.
Oh, incredible liability. Okay, so I just have it like chalk. I have it Longzhu, Immortals, Fnatic, Gigabyte Marines. To your question, there were 5 jungle and top laners altogether.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was just 4.
Wait, I'm pretty sure it was 4. It's Khan and Cuvee for top, and then junglers is Ambition,
Is Ambition and
Condi.
Condi, Ambition, Condi. What wasn't there one more? Or am I
Nope.
stupid?
Nope.
No,
No.
I'm stupid. Okay, cool.
It's just
Still.
2. I watched like the entirety of Riot's
Still those super
discussion
hokey.
of the
What's
top
going
20, and they said specifically.
Piper, you wanted to talk about this real quick. You said you wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
Hoagie. Are you high?
Have you watched Fnatic play at all? They're fucking terrible. They got shit
No, he hasn't
stomped
watched-
at Rift Rivals. They're gonna get shit stomped again at Worlds.
I have Gigabyte Marines over
I
getting
do too.
not getting
I have-
getting out by. I think Levi is going to shit all over Broxa and get everyone going, and
Uh huh.
I have
I agree.
Longzhu, Immortals, Gigabyte, Fnatic. Longzhu, they won Korea. Duh. I think
If you're-
Immortals is going to get out second because I think Song isn't going to let them fall for
Song isn't gonna feed them if they
I
don't get out of
yeah,
cruise.
well, I don't think Song will let
Whoa.
Immortals fall prey to Gigabyte's
What is he, Tainted
Fiesta
Minds?
style,
He's not
you
going to
know?
feed them? Is this Tainted Minds?
No,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
Also,
Ooh.
keep in mind that the Immortals squad that was like known for choking, Dylan Falco was their coach.
Yeah.
He's now the coach of Fnatic.
Yeah.
Oh, leave my boy popular.
So
That's a good point.
I
though.
feel like Immortals will not fall victim to the Gigabyte Marines Fiesta style. Now, granted, I haven't seen them play since MSI, so I'm just basing that off of what I saw then.
Wait, you mean you don't watch Vietnamese League of Legends in your spare time?
Yeah, I know, right? Hard to believe, but I have a
All
job.
right, so I think everyone's got Longju first, and then some trolls have Gigabyte.
Yeah, and then
Oh.
and then
Oh,
Gigabyte third.
Let me offer, sorry, real quick. If I said for the last group, if you didn't have SKT first, you were flat wrong. If you don't have Longju first in this group, you're even more wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Fair.
a fact.
So
Cool.
third,
Anything
I
else
have,
on this group? Oh.
Yeah,
I think we're
third I
good.
have Gigabyte because I think Gigabyte plays Fiesta style better than Fnatic. I really do. I
Yeah,
think,
I just don't think Fnatic falls into like they won't fall
I
into
think-
their.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Fnatic is a hot steaming pile of shit.
Oh damn.
I think
Piper.
they are terrible.
Jesus.
I think all
They
of the
have
EU
skins.
LCS is terrible right now. And
I'm just turning my camera off for a second to shift around my laptop
Alright.
because it's pissing me off.
Gonna rub out a cookie.
All right.
but anyway,
I think this is a good way to segue into Group C with you saying
I do too.
EU is garbage because this is where G2 comes in.
Mhm.
So Group C we have
Oh boy.
Rich, you want to start this one off, Rich?
Sure. So I'll just start with what I have as my predictions. So I have in order Samsung, RNG, G2, and then Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce, I really don't know what to say about them. Like they didn't look amazing in play-ins, and
I
also it's
I thought they looked really good in play-ins.
they looked good. They looked good, but they didn't. They weren't like curb stomping everyone like Cloud9 was.
Shadden's a fucking monster. Like
Yeah.
this is
the one-
this is the
big
group of ADCs right here.
Yes, this is. The big question is for me. It's just like, who the fuck is jungling? Because yes, they like Move didn't get the visa and Crash is subbing, but you never know. Move could end up getting his visa. It just happens to be late. So it's.
But for what it's worth,
he could-
Crash
yeah.
looked good with that.
Crash did look good. I'll say that.
Can we be
Crash
fair?
looked good.
Crash looked good if he played Gragas. If you ban or take Gragas from him, he looks like a different jungler. I'm so upset. The whole time I was just like, just ban the fucking fat man. And he doesn't do anything else. I mean, he doesn't look great on Gragas, but if you look at like, I think they have like a 5-2 like win rate when he's on Gragas, and then like lose almost every other game that he's not on Gragas. It's a comfort pick, I understand, and he's not really like the main jungler for that team, with it being Move. But like, if they get Move, they play a little bit better. Probably they have better synergy. I still have them bottom of my thing just for alert. But it's just, if you just ban or take Gragas away from him, I think you just hinder a lot of what they can try to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'll just kind of segue into each of the teams. G2.
We're gonna disagree on this
Oh
right
my-
now. This
Oh
will be
my god.
heavy disagreement. between
Oh yeah. Opinions about G2 are just all over the fucking place.
Oh man, especially with
Good
y'all's.
lord.
Woo, y'all are totally different. There we go.
So I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it up here because I know I'm gonna disagree
for
with
it.
all of you. So I'm gonna explain some everything. So I do have Samsung first. I think that's standard. I actually have G2 second out of the group over RNG.
I do too, actually.
And I know it's perhaps a little bit counterintuitive of that because RNG's playstyle can counter G2 so hard where they just kind of play fast and loose and don't really give a shit. And that can really catch G2 off guard. But I think for me it comes down to Sven and Miffy. Sven and fucking Miffy.
Yes.
The best bot lane in the West. They've been playing bot lane together since season 5, where they went to semifinals with Origin, a team with washed up Soaz and washed up Xpeke and washed up Amazing. Like, that was a good fucking team, and it was really all on the back of Sven and Miffy. And I think that they can do the same thing in this group. The interesting thing for me, bot lanes where I'm looking at in this group, you've got 4, probably the top 8 AD carries. I would even put Padden in top 8. I think Padden's really good. He had a really strong performance at play-ins. But you got Sven and Uzi, Ruler's phenomenal,
Oh my lord.
and Padden's crazy.
Description.
When I have a group in here where Ruler is the number 380 carry, that is something. Like, and I just the big difference between G2 and RNG for me is that synergy that Sven and Mithy have over Uzi and Ming, because Uzi and Ming haven't been playing together all year. Uzi's been in and out of the roster. He doesn't play every game. Ming doesn't have the same synergy build-up. It's the same reason why Cloud9 has a chance in their group. I just think Sven and Mithy are better and do what Sneaky and Smoothie want to do, but at a higher level and a higher class, I guess.
Okay, so
another point I'd like to bring up: RNG versus G2. I think RNG's biggest strength is Xiaohu, as well as Uzi, and I think that's going to be a hype matchup: Xiaohu versus Perks.
I have them literally tied on my.
Really?
Yeah, they're both 2.5. Like I couldn't decide.
I think I have been so impressed with Perks at his recent Worlds performances. There's
definitely not the same Perks as last year.
Yeah.
No, I think so long as he steps up like he has shown he can in the past, G2 will be a pretty formidable opponent. I mean, I talked my shit earlier about Special Olympics, but I think G2 has they have very redeeming qualities.
So what you're saying is you like gold medals for special people.
I think gold medals are shiny. All right. No, real talk. I think Perks can definitely step up, and I think Sven is absolutely a monster. The Sven Mithy synergy is very strong. It's the top side of G2's map that is very weak, in my opinion. But considering the fact that it's a bot-centric game right now, I like G2's odds. Uzi tilts. I don't think Sven is a robot. Sven is a straight-up just machine.
Wait.
So I also had G2 over RNG here, and I think it's very, very close. But I think that's how I'm feeling.
I think the last point I have to kind of back up my take and knowledge you guys talk. You brought up, top lane of the map, expects Trick maybe not being the most secure. If you look at MLXG's probably the most inconsistent jungler in this tournament.
Besides Trick.
No, I think he's even more inconsistent than Trick.
Like, you think so?
I think his highs are higher, but his lows are even lower.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's because of the champion people play. MLXG's playing a lot of solo queue pub stomp carry shit. He's gonna play the Nidalee. I guarantee you he's gonna pull out the Nidalee at this tournament. Trick is gonna play Sejuani. He's gonna play Gragas. He may play the Jarvan. Might play the Rek'Sai. He's gonna play these things that can team play well, that he can just enable for Perks and Sven. And it's the same thing for Expect. Expect's gonna play stuff like Shogai, Maokai, the Jarvan, the Galio. He's gonna play these team fighting top laners that can just get by in lane and then show up in mid game at a team fight and set stuff up for his carries. And that's gonna be the difference between G2 and RNG.
Okay, so I knew this would be the hottest contended group, obviously, because when we talk about groups of death, the difference for me, I know Mark Z feels like a group of death is when there's some people think it's when there's one person that's gonna be get out for sure, and then 3 people are fighting for 2 spots or whatever. Group of death to me means everybody's fighting for. Yeah, so that's why Fenerbahce, they can probably take a game off of someone.
I can see it happening. I don't think it's going to, but I can see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Fenerbahce, this is the worst group that they could be in.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
If they were in Group D or B, they'd have way better. Way better.
If they're in Group B, they have a chance.
If they were in Group D, they'd have a chance to take a game off of almost everybody. But that's a hypothetical. Or if they were in Group B, they're definitely leagues above Gigabyte. So, but here's my thing. This is the only group when I was ranking them based off of pure skill that it didn't match up with how I have them. I have them Samsung, RNG, G2, Fenerbahce. But in my rankings, I actually have RNG as a 17 out of 20 and Samsung as a 15 out of 20 with G2 a 12 out of 20 and then Fenerbahce is 5 out of 20.
I think that's fair though. I see why you can make that point.
Because Xiaohu is actually a god. This split.
Fucking insane. Dear Lord.
He's
not better than Crown.
No, he's better than Crown. Crown is slumping this split.
I agree. Xiaohu has been fucking insane.
Okay, I mean agree to disagree because Crown is Crown, but he's not Crown of last year. Crown, just like how Perks isn't Perks of last year.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think Crown's too clutch. I think Xiaohu is good, but
I think
Crown is way
I
too
think
clutch.
Crown the way that Crown's continued to look good is that the rest of his team has even gotten better around him. Like Kuve is probably the best top laner at this event.
False. He's number 2.
Okay,
Don't
that is
forget
very arguable. QV versus Khan, I assume,
Khan
is
is
the
better.
other one. The thing is,
Yeah.
Khan is unproven. Khan
Yeah.
has been better in LCK.
Yeah.
Khan is
Kuve-
unproven, though.
Yeah,
QV is
Kuve
very
is-
good as well.
I'm not saying Kuve's bad, but I think Khan's better.
Yeah, no. Obviously, you said he's number 2. It's not like you're saying he's shit, but I
Right.
just think Kuve is the best top laner at this, the one that you can rely on. When you were talking about high highs and high lows and everything like that for MLXG, Khan middles in that pack, but I've never seen a low performance from Kuve except for like maybe 1 or 2 blurps. But from like if we're talking about, he's like in the 85th, 90th percentile, like always. He's always on his A game. The reason why I have G2 not winning or going like advancing is because of the top side of their map. Because while this is a bot centric thing, and I still question your like comparison, he's not a robot, he's a machine, but aren't they both okay, whatever.
No, I
about
meant
Sven?
he's both a robot and a machine.
Okay, that like AD carry wise, it's Uzi, Sven, Ruler, and Patton. This is a stacked ADC group.
Jesus Christ, no kidding.
And then supports is pretty freaking good too. But then you have like Ming and Japone are kind of like
Question
but-
marks, yeah.
Yeah, but Mithy and Core JJ, really, really nice. This mid lane group is bananas. I just- Xiaohu-
Which is more bananas, the mid lane or the ADC?
Oh, mid lane by far.
80.
Oh,
No.
wow. Okay.
I don't think it's by far. I think
No,
both are so
like-
good.
It's
Uzi and
by
Sven are two
far
of the
because
most.
Forgiven's not playing, so it's obviously by far.
Uzi and Sven are two of the most hyped up players in league right now.
Yeah, they're hyped up, but like you said, like even though I ranked Uzi above Sven, he's not the best performing player on his own team. It's Xiaohu. Xiaohu is so freaking good, and I want to like contest the MLXG thing. I think the reason why his lows seem lower is because his highs are so freaking high. Okay, like you were saying, like there's way more dichotomy in his play towards inconsistent, and he doesn't stay at those highs. But his lows, I would say, are better than some of the medium or average to high games of Trick. All right, like Trick on international stage, like we're going to talk about Group D, like Sven playoff and like Worlds buff. Trick has like an anti-buff, like he
He has a world's nerf.
He's a
he
world
gets like a
diva.
virus. He gets like a virus, and he's like, Ivern, and he locks in Ivern.
He
And you're
gets
like,
jet lagged.
Yo, don't shit talk
I
Treese.
mean, you can say that, but like, Trick's gonna play shit that enables his carries, and I think Sven is more consistent.
You think he's gonna pull out the Nidalee or someone MLXG is gonna pull out the Nidalee? I bet you Trick is going to try this new AD Rek'Sai, and one game it's gonna maybe work really well against Fenerbahce, and then he's gonna get his shit stomped in by Samsung.
Trick's gonna play stuff like Gragas, Sejuani. Maybe he'll pull out the Nunu again. He's
Yeah,
gonna
see,
play
but
shit
that's
like
my
that
thing.
and
If
just
your
set
guy
himself
has to
up
pick
for that.
Nunu because he's such a liability, and like expect his average, okay? I'm not gonna say expect scrap. He's way better than he was last year.
Yeah.
Right. But when
But I don't
the
think.
top-
I just don't think it's a recipe that can fail for G2. And
The
this,
thing is, though,
this is
that
the reason why
Trick
it's gonna
Trick was playing those tanks and teamfight characters at MSI and legit fed. Like,
And
I think he's better
still-
than he was then, but like he legit was losing games for his
and
team.
they were still good enough to make finals because they just team fight so well, and they're so good.
Well,
at
they
stuff.
also play WE as opposed to. Wait, didn't they play WE or did they play?
I thought they played Flash.
Flash
No, they played.
They played. They played WE because Flash Wolves lost. to
Yeah,
SVP.
yeah.
So, but here's my thing: is like while this is a bot-centric meta, if they lose topside priority, like to Kuve or even Let Me, which by the way, it was very hard for me to decide between Let Me and Expect for
Yeah, same.
the second one. I put Let Me above, and this was the hardest part because if Let Me has really, really good flank TP engages, and if Sven and Mithy are pushing in that bot lane and not respecting a TP or roam from Xiaohu, because Xiaohu's going to play like his Aurelion Soul and his Talia and stuff like that, and they're going to come down, they're going to just gangbang the strong part of G2.
They're not gonna do that though, because they're smarter than that. Sven and Mithy have been around the world long enough to know better than to play
If-
that way.
If
against teams that have shown
MLXG
they'll do that.
gets Expect behind or out jungles Trick, the bot lane's going to suffer when your solo lanes don't have pressure. I think the way to beat G2 is you have pushing lanes on your solo lanes and an aggressive jungler, which MLXG by nature is that, and then you transfer that down to the bottom lane to where you hinder Sven and Mithy. They're
See,
really good,
I
and I
get
think they're the best Western bot lane, even though it hurts me to say that as a TSM fanboy, but
Mhm.
like Biofrost does not have like the
the
track
playmaking
record,
that Mythy has.
and then just the knowledge. And then also, but like MLXG, Ming, and Mythy Trick is also like highly contested because one of those is like a really, really weak part. But like Ming and MLXG, I feel like are a little bit better just because the averageness of Ming that I feel I can get out of him is better than the dichotomy I can get out of Trick.
And I get everything you're saying, and I don't disagree that it's not that it's that's definitely the way to win the early game against G2. But you saw it at MSI. TSM won the early game both times against G2. One game they barely won because Griggs made a godlike play on Cassiopeia. The other game they lost because they picked a scaling AD carry, and they picked a wave clear in the mid lane, and they just stalled and waited till 45-50 minutes and then won a late game team fight with a cog bomb. They're gonna do the same thing, and it's so hard to beat that playstyle.
I think it's also really, really hard to rely on that play style. Perks is better now than he was doing at MSI, to where they can snowball and get leads through him and him roaming down to bot lane, or even him roaming with expect like on a TP play. But I think that the type of the quality of play from Samsung and RNG is way better than anything they've seen at any international tournament outside of SKT. And then definitely in the EU LCS. So like that's my thing. Obviously, we could talk about this group for a really long time because it's the hottest contested one. But and also I think all of us at this point have the Koreans first in all of our
Yes.
groups, and then
Yeah.
which would be every year at Worlds, every Korean team has gotten out of groups.
I thought there was one.
Oh.
they didn't-
Season
was one
3,
Korean team
Samsung Ozone. But since it went to 4, like
since it's been the group format,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
yeah, since it's been the current format, since
Yeah.
that has happened, no Korean team has ever dropped out in groups. Yes, you are
Yeah.
correct.
All right, so are we good to go to Group D, or does anyone else need to make predictions?
I know Sean and I talked a lot about this one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're just kind of sitting here, just waiting for you to finish up your little snarl fest.
It's fine.
Aw.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Look at Piper's face. He's so cute.
That's debatable.
Fuck you. Yeah, I have Samsung at the top. I actually have RNG just next because I think their super aggressive style is going to choke out G2, and they're just going to win the game before G2 can scale up.
Oh, that's a really good point about methodical versus like proactive
that's-
styles.
And it's. I'm not saying that it's a sure thing that G2 is gonna get out of groups. I just so you have a clear understanding of how I put it.
Yeah.
I hope G2 gets out of that group because they take a game off of G2, or because they take a game off Samsung, not because they 2-0 RNG. I still think they split with RNG, but I think RNG gets 2-0 by Samsung, and that's the difference.
I think.
See, and I think Fenerbahce can take I think Fenerbahce's best like way to take a game off of anybody would be G2, because I think Thaldrin is a whole lot stronger against expect than he is against either one of the other two top laners. And Thaldrin is the catalyst for that team.
But anyway, we've been talking about this group for almost 20 minutes. We're cresting the 53-minute mark. So let's go ahead and hit the last group, my favorite group.
Wow, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. Ha!
He's a
Fucking
Misfits fan.
boy.
Dude, fuck you.
I actually like Misfits
Flash
as a
will all
team.
the
It's just too bad.
It's just too bad that they're gonna get shat on
They're,
in this
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna get completely shit stomped.
Actually, if they prepare well, like they apparently did for EU LCS, like that's why they got the number 2 seed in it, EU LCS. I could
They
see
got the number 2
preparation
because
taking
they-
game, but I don't think they're good. So
I feel like they got the number 2 seed because everybody else in Europe freaking trolled. Like
Yeah.
Fnatic, UK, and Splice all would be better people suited for this number 2 seed, in my opinion, because they only have like 2 good lanes. That's it, or 2 good players on this team.
That's even. I wouldn't even go that
That's
far.
pushing it.
They have Hans Sama.
That's
think
your
Power
good
of Evil
player.
is-
Ansama and like Maxler has been like not terrible.
Depends on the champ he's on. If he gets put onto like Rengar, he's
Kandi,
useless.
Karsa, and Sven Skaren.
Oh yeah, true. Oh yeah, no. He in a vacuum, he doesn't look bad. Against Condi, Sven, and Karsa, yeah, fat fucking chance.
Wait, okay. Are you telling me that Hansama's the best player on their team?
Yes.
I think I wouldn't disagree with that.
Who's their?
Hansama-
Hold on. Who's their middle laner again?
Power of Evil.
You want to talk about inconsistency?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Hansama's the best player on that team.
Oh no!
Are you guys telling me Nasher's Tooth is a bad item on Orion? What?
Hey, it worked for that one game.
That one
Yeah, it
time
worked
out of-
once.
He hasn't pulled it out again.
It's like
Face
my,
right
No, he does it all the time.
it's like
I
my
know.
full lady Blitzcrank in the jungle. It works once. That means
The
it's
difference
great.
is that's just bad. I approve of this. I don't even know what
Anyway.
this thing is called,
To
but
make
whatever
this a little
Sean
more
has pulled up.
serious, this is the most hotly contested 1 versus 2 group that I have between TSM and World Elite.
Mhm.
I actually have both of them tied in my power rankings as far as the best team in the group.
Yeah.
Where I think TSM really has to play through Hanser, Bjergsen, and Doublelift, obviously. And I think Sven and Biofrost, while they're good, they are their potential liabilities in that matchup. Whereas World Elite, if they can get Condi and Mystic going, they can fucking wreck face. Easy.
So okay, you said that you have them tied, right?
Yes.
I also have them tied. I want to know where you ranked each of the players. Do you have 957 ahead of Hanser?
No.
Is he right below him?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have Condi? Condi's obviously the best in the
Condi's
group.
number 1, Sven Skaren's number 3, jungle.
Ooh.
Bjergsen's
Okay.
number 1 mids, Shie number 2, Double
Okay.
is 1, 2. And then Sword Art's actually my number 1 support, and then the combination of Zero and Ben is number 2, and then Biofrost is 3.
Wow. Okay. See, I have it different. I have 957 as the best top laner in this group. Condi's the best jungler, Bjerg and Doublelift respectively, and then Sword Art. And then I have Hanser, Karsa, GA, Mystic, and then Ignar is the second best support in this group for me. I have
think
Bio.
the only reason Ignar looks good is because Hansama's good.
I feel like it's actually inverse. You and me are doing a lot of inverse stuff today. We're gonna just do like 96s instead of 69s.
Hansama is mechanically a monster. And
Yeah, I
Ignar
think-
is just kind of along for the ride, in my opinion.
I think while he may be
Maybe
mechanic,
Ignar played Lee Sin.
I
yes,
feel
I
like
did actually.
while he is mechanically a monster or whatever, I think without having, like, if he would have had Hillsong or any of these other different weird supports that he could have possibly had, Ignar is the enabler on this team for
But,
Misfits.
So he's the enabler. Look at the supports he's against. Sword Art, huge playmaker. Zero Ben, playmakers. Bifrost, playmaker. And they
Yeah,
can all play enable.
I think Zero's the worst support in this whole.
Zero's literally the
Zero's
reason
not-
we made group stage.
Say
Was-
what?
Wait,
Zero's literally the reason why WE made group stage.
I didn't watch play-ins. I didn't watch WE's games and play-ins. Like, was Zero
played-
playing over Ben?
Zero came in after game 2, I think, in
Okay.
their best of 3, and he played
Gotcha.
Janna like a fucking playmaker. Like, dude's a monster.
Okay.
Hey man, press E. Become an E girl. Sounds great.
No, dude, like, go back and watch those plays, and you'll see how you can really play Janna. And instead of just being a shield bot, he was a freaking playmaker on Janna.
All right, Piper,
Imagine
tell us
what
why
happened
it's your
when you
favorite.
get Alistair.
Alright, so I love TSM. I forgot to put my double lift jersey on for this because I wasn't thinking, but I love TSM. If I could have
In other news, water is wet.
So I have dreams where I'm on TSM as a player,
Wait,
Alright, I'm
wait.
muting Piper.
and then I also have dreams where I'm on there, like in the organization as an HR guy, and I wake up and I'm disappointed at where my life is because I'm on TSM.
God damn, dude.
So anyway,
And how does this have anything to correlate with the group?
they're really good, so that's why I love this group. So anyway,
Okay.
I mean, my bias made me put TSM over Team WE, but I think it's really close between those two, and I think it could go either way, honestly.
I think before I watched play-ins, I thought World Elite would probably take 1.
Yes.
But after I watched play-ins, I was like, TSM is better in the early game.
Yeah,
I
That's,
agree.
and they're much better in the late game than the teams World Elite was playing against.
That's what
So I actually have TSM 6-0ing this group
yeah.
because I actually have confidence that they can 2-0 WE because I think WE plays it's too conditional for them. It relies on Kandi getting ahead, and it relies on really, really good playmaking mechanics, which is not something you can rely on in a meta where Maokai's a champion and he can just press W on you and you no longer exist in the game.
If TSM goes 6-0 on this, that'd be amazing. I actually have them going 4-2, but still taking first.
Yeah, I think how they exit this group will depend upon how they do against Flash Wolves, to be honest.
Yes.
Because
I think they shit Misfits.
Yeah, I think they
Oh,
will
yeah.
shit on Misfits.
Misfits is going 0-6 in this group. I love them, but no.
I think they go 1-5. They take a game off the Flash Wolves.
That'd be about their only hope.
But I think TSM can beat World Elite. They did it before at MSI like 2 years ago. No, that was like 2 years ago, obviously. It's a different roster. But
Way different. No, they beat didn't they beat WE at IEM Katowice?
yeah,
That's what he's talking
that
about.
was a
He said
different
MSI,
roster.
but
Like TSM.
Well,
had
that's
a
when
different roster.
GA
and
also came in
whatever.
And
for
this-
his first like
yeah.
weird.
And that was when the current WE roster was very new as well.
Yeah.
So, I thought about that when I was making these rankings as well. I think it will, definitely depend upon how TSM does against the Flash Wolves, because to me that matchup has always been somewhat of a wild card. It can go either way.
I just think the LMS region is nothing like it was even 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, when
Even
Flash
last
and HU
year.
made it out of groups, like they looked really good, and something's missing from that group now. Like they just, whether it's they just haven't advanced as much. Maybe you can make a joke about it. They don't have any Koreans playing on their rosters because pretty much most of the teams from NA, EU, and China have Koreans on their rosters
Not
in some
TSM.
form. Not TSM, but the other ones do. Although I don't think Fnatic does either.
No,
Yeah, but Fnatic's trash. So.
because they have Reckless. So.
And maybe there's, I know that's kind of memey, but maybe there's something to that where there's the LMS is literally just Taiwanese players and they don't get any imports. Maybe there's something to that where they're getting behind in the global scene as far as the major regions go. They just don't look as good. There's a reason why they don't have a third spot guaranteed at Worlds, and it was shown this year in play-ins from Hong Kong Attitude getting beat by fucking Fibonacci, whatever the hell their name is.
Fenerbahce.
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 Fenderbender?
Fenerbahce.
Okay. So here's my thing. It's like this group to me, if TSM does not make it out of this group, I'm willing to make a bet on it. Like if
NA will like the NA fans will
If
tear them the
TSM doesn't
fucking
make it out of this
shreds.
group, then TSM is just doomed forever.
No, they're not doomed forever. They really need.
They finally got a good draw at Worlds, and if they can't make it out of this group, then they're just fucking done.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
here you talk about a good draw at Worlds. I did some research on like Worlds groups in the past. One, there's never been a Worlds winner from a Group D. No one from Group D since it's turned into group formats has won Worlds. The closest was last year with Samsung Galaxy coming in second.
Well, it's because SKT never gets run in the Group D.
Well, fair, but even then, but like also TSM has always, since it's gone to group format, whether it was in 2015, I think,
Yeah,
when they
15
had,
and that
well,
was
no, they 2014 because they were in group
2014,
B.
they were in Group B with it was like Starhorn Rail, TPA, and some other
No,
team.
not TPA, Starhorn Royal Club.
No, it was Taipei Assassins in that group. I remember very specifically.
No,
You
that was
tell 'em.
season 2.
No, this was season 4. It was
doesn't
a
matter.
not good TPA.
Taiwanese team.
Yeah.
So they have always season 4 Worlds groups.
I'm right about this. If you're looking this up,
You'll see.
So we're gonna just say that TSM's gonna win Worlds, right? Is
No,
that-
no, no.
is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
What I'm saying is that, wait, hello, come on, work. that TSM has always had a Chinese team and a... Okay, Taipei Assassin's fair. They've always had...
What did I say?
They've always had a Chinese
SK
team
Gaming.
and a European team in their group. Same thing here. They've always had a Chinese team and a European team. And every year that they haven't had a Korean team in their group, they've advanced. Now, that's only a one sample size of when they have advanced. But this group is very, very similar to that group. Taipei, it's almost extremely similar. You have Starhorn Royal Club as the Chinese team, TSM. SK is now Misfits, and then TPA is Flash Whoops because they actually come from the same region.
Isn't that when Sven Skaren was on SK and he?
Yeah, and then he made the
Yup.
really, really offensive comments. So
And then they brought in Gilius, and Gilius had his 3 games at Worlds where he looked like shit.
yeah, so like this, and then look, also Samsung White and Edward Gaming and AHQ also were in Group A that year, which is
Fucking
basically
group, dude.
SKT, EDG, AHQ from that.
No, yeah.
That was when AHQ beat EDG the second best of 1, took them to a tiebreaker, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
and
really funny
that
game.
shocked everyone.
And then Kaboom Alliance, but that was always fun. But you've never had a winner come from
That too.
you never had a winner come from Group D. TSM has always had a European team, so it's always been NA versus EU for TSM. They fared very well against EU, minus the Origin year.
Yeah, but the Origin was actually nuts that year. And
That year was just a bad year by TSM standards.
TSM was
So-
actually ass and
Yeah.
titties.
Yeah, they had Dyrus and Santorin. I mean, come on.
Yo, but Santorin's making his name known on Gold Coin United now.
They're not going to make it to LCS. Neither of them are EU United, so it's sad. But to wrap this up, I just wanted like a history thing because I thought that was really interesting. That TSM's always had those 3, like, regions in their group when they've had a non-Korean,
Well, that kind of makes sense because
or even when they've
if you
had a
don't have
non-Korean.
Korean, if you don't have Korean, then you're guaranteed to have China and.
But TSM's never had a wild card team in their group
What are you talking about?
What are you
They have
talking about? They
misfits.
have misfits.
from a wild card region. That doesn't get an automatic berth, my friend. Not the way that they play, because I think Misfits is better than Splice from last year.
I got a Piper. Don't worry.
You're right.
I don't think Misfits is better than Splice from last year. No way. Splice last year was so much better than Misfits this year.
I feel like Splice macro was better,
Mhm.
but I think across the board, I love Splice. I love Danish guys, Bjergsen, all of them.
Misfits are just a bunch of monkeys. I
Yeah.
love them, but they're
Well,
monkeys.
Mysterious Monkeys was
They're
really cool.
Mysterious Monkeys was monkeys. Misfits is a bunch of rabbits.
So
Okay.
here's the way that TSM needs to get out of here. They need to play around bot side, and then Sven has to work with Biofrost to get
I don't
vision
think
and invades.
I don't think they have to play around outside. They can play around mid.
Yeah.
Bjerg is the 3rd best or 4th best mid laner at this tournament.
So why not exploit that?
It's already going to be exploited when he plays against PoE. Like, what more do you want? This motherfucker's going to build Nashor's Tooth
Okay,
on
so
Oriana.
We're never gonna get over that, are we?
Gonna be guaranteed to be exploited against Shie? No. It's still
I
kind of
think-
a skill matchup.
And
So,
Maple
yeah, it's a
as
skill
well,
match.
as well.
Okay, so Maple isn't what he used to be, just like
Right.
Crown isn't what he used to be, but even more of a dichotomy because Sword Art is the best player on Flash Wolves, then Karsa, then GA.
I'd put Carson and Sword Art tied, but yeah.
Because they don't have NL anymore because he never lost apparently, but he had a ass kick. Betty, MMD is probably one of the worst top laners at this tournament outside of
MMD?
Archie.
MMD, with the exception of who was it? So last year's Worlds, Poppy was our top laner sucks, so give him Poppy. MMD, I think, played Poppy 5 times.
MMD is by far
six.
one of the biggest liabilities on any given team not named Archie. And Archie's from a totally different region, like that had to get really good at MSI to even be at this point.
I can't disagree with you. I think I miss Steak. Steak was the old Flash Wolves top laner before he retired. He was awesome to watch in Worlds 2015.
Yeah, he
Even
was
if he
also
wasn't,
the
like,
TPA.
Right. He was just
He-
fun.
And if he were still on Flash Wolves, he's the coach now for Flash Wolves. If
Yeah.
he was still playing for Flash Wolves, I think you have a totally different roster because you have.
I
some of the
think
big names actually
Eric
play off the
Guyy
top lane.
Fieri is a better option than MMD.
Okay, let's not go that far.
Yeah.
Yo, I can play some.
At
top
least
this.
Eric can play Gnar, all right? Like this I don't want to rail on MMD, but I'm a rail on MMD. This like mass murder destruction in the top lane because he's just going to die. Like he's gonna make Alfari look like a god, and then 957 and Hans are gonna be like, why am I even against you in lane? Like who put this bronze 5 scrub in my game?
Damn, Sean.
Like, I'm not even kidding. He is such a liability. The only way that Flash Wolves takes a game off of Team WE or TSM is if they put him on a Maokai or something like self-sufficient up in the top
That's
lane.
probably what it's gonna be. And I think this year, if we're talking about picks for World, I think Maokai is this year's Poppy. Where if you have a top laner who just gets outclassed, put him on Maokai. It's really hard to punish Maokai in lane, and he has point-click CC for mid to late game.
I think it's Maokai Cho'Gath.
Shogat's even easy to punish though.
He's easier to punish, but if you can give him good enough warding, and then you're outside of MMD Archie, they're not brain dead, and they just don't look at the map, then yeah.
Well, well. The point I'm making is that the weak top laners. What are they gonna play? They're gonna play shit like Maokai. The weak top
Shen.
laners last.
They'll play Shen.
Maybe.
Because if
Shen's
it's a bot lane centered,
Shen's still a decent skill cap as far as the champ goes, and like you can still bully a Shen out in a lane. Maokai,
but
you
at least
literally can't bully him out of lane because of his passive.
I don't know. I think Kandi's definitely one of the best junglers here at this group. Bjerg's one of the best mid laners.
Kandi's not in this group. Oh,
Kandi.
yeah, he is. I'm dumb. I was looking at
I
top.
thought you were memeing and saying Gandhi. He's also
Set myself on fire.
I hate all of you.
yeah. But this is really
I'm
interesting.
better than all of these junglers.
TSM
That was
has
terrible. I'm
to
so
come out
sorry.
first, because if everything works out the way that we've all planned it, if TSM comes out first, they will guarantee not play a Korean in the next round.
And that means they have a really good chance at semis. They can do the H2K route, where they.
Where they bypass Koreans all the way to
You know what? The only way that I want Gigabyte Marines coming in second is if TSM gets to play them. All right, so there you go.
Although the only difference I will say is that last year when that happened, that was actually, what was their name? That was Albus
Nox
actually taking first in that group, and H2K was second, and they got Albus Nox. It was free as fuck.
Yeah, so that's not going to happen. There's not going to be what it means though is most likely we'll have a NA matchup at one of the quarters.
I mean, it could happen. If it goes the way I had it, where you have TSM and Immortals making it out, there's still a 75% chance TSM draws any team other than Immortals. No, I'm wrong. 66%. Numbers are hard.
Well, there's a 25% chance that they draw any other team that's not NA.
Well,
because-
they can't draw the team from their group, so there's only 3 teams that they can draw for quarters at that point.
Okay, 33%. So then 33% that it's not NA.
33%. Well, that's if C9 gets out. I don't have C9 getting out.
Okay, well then you have a 66% chance. then,
Exactly.
sure.
That's what I said. Listen to my words, you dumb bitch.
Well, that's because you don't have the same thing because you're retarded. But
Holy
shit.
moly. Alright, well, the insults are flying, so.
Oh, well.
if we're talking about picks to watch though, Cassio, Talia, we'll see Aurelion Souls pop up with Cassidans in the mid lane. Oriana obviously will be there.
With
Yep.
Asher's too.
If it's
Sure,
PoE, piece of excrevit shit.
I think I want to talk about the top lane, and I want to see. Obviously, we're gonna have champs like the Galio, the Cho'Gath, the Maokai, the Shen, your classic tanks. But what about the carries? What carries do you guys think are gonna pop up?
Khan is gonna play Fiora.
Khan is 100%.
Oh,
Khan-
new Fiora. Holy
So,
shit.
some other people are gonna be playing Fiora too, but I'm
Fiora's
excited.
really
I want to
good
see
pick.
Fiora.
Prediction: Kana's gonna get his Jace once, then permaban the rest of the world.
So,
He will
Yeah,
get
I
his
think
Jace
he's-
once.
I don't
He's
know.
like he's Sebastian, yeah.
I
He's
don't know if-
Sebastian, but at World.
He'll
The
get
only
that
thing I'll
against
say about
Fnatic or Gigabyte, and then they'll be like, "Why did we do this?"
The only thing I'll say about the Jace is that any team that's been picking it so far in the world's meta has been picking it from mid.
Yeah.
They do that
What
to
I
free
will
up
say-
the Rumble pick top lane, it seems.
There've been some all AD comps that have been run with the Jace mid. It was Who did World Elite play in their best of five to get into groups? I don't remember who it was. I think it was whoever it was. The last game they played, they had Chase mid with a tank top, and I don't even think it was a Kog'Maw AD carry. So they had like all magic, all AD. Oh no, that was actually WE who ran that. WE ran Jace. I don't remember what AD carry. I think it was Zaya, and then tank top. I think Sejuani in the jungle. Like,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but did anyone see Dylan's comment on my post? He
Yeah.
said,
Open bar.
Yep.
He'd be great to get in here right now.
Oh, yeah.
I think Fiora is actually a really interesting one because that means I think we could see some Jax and Gnar probably come in as well.
Do you guys think that anybody will
Nar is
play Jax
iffy.
other than Khan? I think only Khan will play
I think
Jax.
Juve.
no.
I think Juve would play it,
I think
Yeah.
and I could see.
I think
Khan's
I
might
Oh,
get
who,
really
who needs
drunk
to pull
and
out
play it
some random
once.
shit?
I could see a lot of
No.
the top laners pulling out, honestly, because
I can see Huni playing it,
Yeah,
and I
Huni
actually
will.
could see Flame playing it once.
I don't know if Flame would play it. Flame's mostly been playing the tanks.
I want to see
Kinda,
Flame on
but-
carries. I think his Rumble game was fucking amazing against TSM when they played.
Well, the I think the champions that Flame is best at are those bruisers.
I think they are.
Jarvan, the Renekton, the Gnar. And I think you're going to see him kind of default to those. And you might see... It's hard to say. Fiora's going to be such a strong pick in top lane in this world because tanks are what's alive. And Fiora is so good into Shogas. She is so good into Maokai. She's so good into Galio. Not so
Yeah, I
much
think-
into Jarvan, but it's still a winnable lane for Fiora.
I think if you get a Fiora with a Sejuani jungle, that would be really nice because the
That
passive, and then you
nuts.
press your E for the increased attack speed, you could get that passive off really quick. And then you get the Sejuani to like layer CC on that top laner. He's probably dead.
Yeah,
I'm
that
just-
2v2 would be nuts almost no matter who you have. Unless
Yeah,
you have,
and
like,
then or you can
Nidalee
pick the
and
Maokai
or
early and
something.
just put him in the jungle. Like I'm not saying it's the strongest, but you know, just to get it away from the enemy top laner's comfort.
I mean, yeah. I think Fiora is going to definitely see a lot of play. I'm trying to think of stuff that is going to see play that like we really haven't seen too much of. Jungle,
We'll
we
see.
know.
I
We'll
can
see
see some
Shore's-
Irelia picks to counter Gnar if people are ballsy enough to do it.
I don't
I
think
can
we'll see
see-
much of Irelia.
I could maybe see that, but like Gnar hasn't actually been seeing that much play. I think he was played like 4 times at the play-ins,
Mhm.
and that's over like 36 games or something. So that's not actually that much playing time for Gnar.
Hold on.
Go look it up on my list that I made.
Here's my thing. We may see stuff that we don't usually see, but that's gonna be like from like these troll teams who like AHQ, Gigabyte Marines, Fenerbahce, Misfits. Like when they're out of it, we'll see different picks. You know,
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to see Fizz at some point from Westdoor.
we'll definitely
Oh,
if
yeah.
he plays. Yeah,
I know
I wanna see
Chowie's
the-
been mostly playing, but I could still see them putting in.
I want to see
Westdoor.
Faker's Fizz again because that shit was the filthiest thing I've ever
I
seen
think
in
we're
my
gonna
life.
see Rise.
I don't want to see Rise. I hate that champ. But
We're gonna see a lot of Rise. I don't think we'll see as much Lucian as we've been seeing around the
He got
world.
nerfed
early.
a
Yeah,
bunch.
Lucian so far at Worlds has only been played 2 times.
Look
I
at
think
the,
Lucian-
look at the screen. I got it right here for you about roles.
I
So
just
I-
brought it up.
So I
Interesting thing, by the way, Sejuani actually got played top.
huh.
So now
yeah.
that's the thing. And Sejuani's actually not 100% pick banned anymore, thank God. She went not picked or not banned in 1 game. But Callista still is.
Callista is going to be the the strongest kind of supportive AD carry outside of Ashe and then maybe Sivir. But I think this new Varus build that you're seeing, like the Kog'Maw build on Varus,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually really, really good come late game team fights.
Oh yeah.
Because he can, with his W passive and getting the Bly stacks off, as well as like he's going to put out more DPS standing still, and he provides crowd control for the team when like Kog'Maw has to like be, you know, out in the back and everything. I think Braum's going to see a whole lot more play as well too. I think with the engaged supports, even though it's an ardent meta, I think since how team fight heavy it is, you're going to see the teams who are more successful have the better engage, which means it's going to come from bot lane. And I think Tarek's going to see a whole lot more play, especially from probably the Chinese and North American teams.
Smoothie's such a good Tarek player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
think if I'm thinking about champions that we haven't seen yet, that I'm surprised we haven't seen yet, I think Azir's going to show up. And I think
No,
I'm surprised about that too. Yeah.
Azir said no plays, no bans, and he's probably not going to ever get banned unless it's like a very specific person. But he's strong enough of a champion again that I could see him coming back. It's a tank meta.
the only problem
Really
with that,
good at tanks. He
The
can
only
replace the Cassiopeia.
I don't think we see him because the buffs that are on live right now to him with like his ult and his W and how that's changed a little bit. Those are live. They're not on that patch.
He was still buffed on 718 though.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, like we might see it maybe. You're
What
right.
about
we
Twisted
may see
Fate?
it.
I was curious. I was curious why there's no Twisted Fate either. Like he's a
I think
very...
I think my only reasoning why, if you think about reasons people play Twisted Fate, it's to roam bot lane or top lane.
Yeah.
It's to impact the side lanes. And
I
if you
think
look
you'd
at,
rather have Echo.
there's 4 different champions right now that are really, really good at roaming to side lanes. I'm not even counting Echo. I'm counting Talia, Twisted Fate, Galio,
Aurelion Soul.
Did you say Corky? I think Corky with the package too.
I don't count that one because the package is such a long cooldown.
Yeah,
We
he's
can-
much more conditional than the others. But
I don't want to count it for this one, but we can if you want to.
I
If
think
you
he's
look at
also
Twisted
good.
Fate, Twisted Fate has 2 damaging abilities. He scales like shit. He has no wave clear outside of a wild card, but that doesn't even clear the full wave. Look at Talia. Talia has a lot more ways to damage people. It's a lot more consistent DPS. Her ult actually gives a little bit more utility because it creates that wall, so you can use it in different ways as well. Galio is Galio. Enough said.
Yeah.
Aurelion Soul can roam at level 1, who he showed us at Worlds last year. So
Mhm.
for all of those reasonings, every single one of those champions does what Twisted Fate does it better, and
Because
has
they have wave clear.
less, and they all have wave clear. They have less significant weaknesses than Twisted Fate. So that's really
Yeah.
the only reason I see Twisted Fate not showing up in the world.
Like we were
Twisted
talking-
Fate's wave clear is actually really good as soon as you get some ability power. The problem comes from the Lich Bane build. As soon as you get like a needlessly large rod, if you red card the middle
in backline.
melee minion, yeah, your Q will clear all of the casters, and then if you red card the middle melee, your Q will also kill all of them. So he does. I think he does have good wave clear, and I think the thing you failed to mention is his super consistent CC that he brings to ganks. How many
it is
Talia
really
walls have you seen
CC, but-
fucked up? How many Azir Aurelion Soul things you can dodge those? I think TF brings slightly more burst and it's more consistent than Talia. You have to land her ability, so there's a skill ceiling there.
I respectfully disagree on the more burst thing than Aurelion Soul and Talia. They both
Not
offer
more than
burst
Aurelion
damage.
Soul, but
Talia offers more burst damage too.
if she lands the W, the problem
I
is
guess
that
he's talking about reliable.
DPS. It's also a lot
Mhm.
safer DPS though because you don't have to get up into melee range essentially to hit your gold card
Yeah.
Mhm.
because she can
I
just
just-
do it from half screen away. It seems like.
If you want
I
a
know I'm
split pushing
exaggerating, but-
threat, I don't think you want Twisted Fate, just because all the other champions that we mentioned also have ways of escaping. Whether it's like the warp ground or like the W Flia, and then she can move faster when she's on her warp ground.
He's very good at kiting.
The unraveled earth is what I
or
meant
the
to
fact,
say.
or the fact that it's Galio and it's so hard to kill Galio.
Yeah, it's hard to gank Galio. He has CC, reduction, and
Galio plays a totally different role, despite also being a roaming mid laner. I feel like he's very. You can't compare him to Talia or.
Yes, you
Aurelion
can.
Soul.
You absolutely can because people who are playing the Galio mid are playing it to snowball side lanes. And it's the same reason you play Talia mid. You play Talia mid to snowball your side lanes. You're just doing it at that point on a carry, as opposed to doing it on a tank. It's the same
Mhm.
exact thing. You're just
unless you're Bjergsen, and then you're the carry.
well, yeah. It's the same exact thing, just you're doing it in a different avenue.
I want to get one
Mhm.
last thing because I know we're about to wrap this up, but like, if you had to make a pick for like either like semis, like the 4 teams that are in semis, or like the team that's going to win worlds, who are you picking?
Oh my gosh.
I think Longzhu's gonna win. That's my call.
Okay.
But who did they play?
See, okay. The thing about predicting people for semis, it's like
it's hard because
basically
you don't know what the
predicting
matchups
who.
are.
It's like,
Who can
okay,
count, what the
3
ma-
Korean
odds are gonna
teams,
be.
and who's the 4th gonna be?
Well, okay, so like, yeah, we all think. So
I don't know.
means-
I could see
then-
Samsung losing a best. I could see Samsung losing a best of 5 in quarters this year if they get drawn against WE or EDG. I could see
Yeah.
Samsung losing that easy.
So, okay, so like we expect all the Korean teams not to play each other in the first round because they can't if they're all first seeds.
Correct.
So you like just go through your brackets. Like let's just make it across the board to where like the 1 of Group D goes to the 2 of Group B, and then the 1 of Group A goes to the 2 of Group C.
This is too confusing.
I think
No, it's
Cloud9
just-
beats SKT in
I hate you.
I think-
Reverse sweep.
Like being
reverse
serious,
sweep.
I think either WE or TSM could actually make semis pretty easily. It'll kind of depend on draws, but I think
My
both of
prediction
those
for
teams
Lies.
could take both of those teams could take a best of 5 series win off of any other team
Okay,
not named
I get it.
Longju or SKT.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
going all in. I got it. I got my prediction.
Okay.
Semifinals matchups. You're gonna have SKT and Longju not playing each other, and then you're gonna have TSM and EDG.
So
That's
who's
gonna be
playing?
semi.
Spicy.
So
And I
wait,
think
who's
TSM
Longju
gets
playing?
Longju's gonna play.
TSM.
Oh, hang on. Longju would have to play TSM at that point because EDG wouldn't meet SKT until finals. So it'd be TSM and SKT, Longju, EDG in the semis. And I think SKT wins, Longju wins, and then I have no idea. I think Longju wins that best of 5 in the finals. Sick.
Yeah, I think
did it.
Longju
I made
wins.
my pick.
Okay. So okay, here's a better way to ask my question. Are you taking SKT or the field?
I'm taking the field.
I'm taking the
Yes,
field
Longju's
this
the
time.
I think who needs a major liability? If you look at each of the last 2 times that they won, 2 years ago with Marin. Marin was MVP of Worlds. Marin was phenomenal. He was a madman. Last year it was Duke. Duke was nothing but reliable. He didn't necessarily outplay that much. He had a few, but he was reliable. He never fed. He never inted. He just did his job. Huni is a humongous liability, and it was the same thing on Fnatic. It was the same thing on Immortals, and his highs are really high, but lately he hasn't been having the highs. He's been having nothing but the lows. Occasional game here and there, but I think top lane's too inconsistent for SKT to do it this year.
Okay. And then I guess just for each person, go around and tell me what skin you would love to see. Like it doesn't matter if you.
Oh,
want
you
this
know
team
the answer to
win or
that
not.
question already.
Not even like I obviously know who Pipers and mine are.
I want
like, if you-
3SM Hanser.
Tree is
I honestly
and it's
think
Maokai.
an Immortals, Longju, or Fenerbahce skin would look dope.
I was gonna say Longju, like with the dragon. I think that would be amazing.
Dude,
Yeah, I
Longju,
just-
Aurelion Sol.
Not gonna lie. Like I would love Cloud9 skins.
I don't care who the skin is, like what team the skin is for. I just want a Nar skin.
Well, if you want a Gnar skin, you might want G2.
I just want a Jinx skin, but I know for a fact that's not gonna happen
Yeah.
because no one plays Jinx.
Dude, hey, if TSM won, he might pick Jinx for his
Although
Wolf plays a shitload of Jinx.
that's
That'd be
true.
Lucian
Although
trolling.
maybe more accurately, Zaya might get the skin, which would also make me happy.
Zaya's probably the best bet because every AD carry's playing Zaya, kind of like.
I feel.
It's either Zaya or Tristana that gets it.
I think Tristana's gonna get the skin this year.
I think it'll be Tristana, but I hope it's
It's gonna
Zaya.
depend on the AD carry because if you're Mystic on WE, Mystic's gonna choose Zaya over Tristana. He loves Zaya.
Yeah.
But if you're double lift, you'll choose probably Tristana over Zaya. So it's a
So
crapshoot.
World starts next Thursday, right? With RNG versus Fenerbahce.
Something like that.
Yes, probably.
Oops, that's not what I meant to do.
So
Right here.
So if you are a Symphonian, get into our PMA LCS Worlds Pick leaderboard thing.
Yeah, while
gonna
I'm
post the
streaming,
link. Hang on.
how about you
How do I do that?
explain to me how to do that? Because
I'm
I
about to
still
post
don't
the
know.
link. I just posted the link. Click that link and
Where?
do it. In the chat.
What chat?
In the Twitch chat, you dum dum.
Oh shit.
Twitch chat.
Posted in Discord.
See.
Oh my fucking god.
I'm really fucking needy, okay?
Holy shit, I hate all of you.
I hate myself too.
Let me just look through all these real quick. Hold on.
Alright, I joined. Now what?
You did it.
Yay.
Maybe I'll see if I can talk to Greg and see what we can do about getting a prize for whoever wins in our group or something.
By the way, Albus Nox Luna did not win first. They got second last year.
No, they did because they won the tiebreaker with Rox.
No,
I
Rox
saw.
was 5-2. They won the tiebreaker over Counterlogic Gaming, I think.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. That's okay.
Tiebreaker was Rox beating Albus Nox Luna.
Oh, okay. That's right. The game that they beat Rox was to guarantee that they got out of groups, and then they had to play a tiebreaker to get first seed, and they didn't. Right. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I'm also kind of upset that Cloud9 didn't end up in Group C with G2, because then it would have been the exact reverse group of Group D that
Right.
TSM had
I
last
had
year.
that exact thought where it was TSM as the #1 seed from the region, RNG and Samsung into the #3 seed from the other one. That would have been fucking hilarious.
And this is the crazy thing. Is it that important to get a #1 for your region? Because
G2
last
got
year,
dicked on with their group, and TSM has a pretty damn good group, and it was the inverse last year.
but like G2 had a tier 2 seed, but they just shit the bed. But they had a decently easy.
They had a group they
had
should have been able to
wild-
get out of.
Yeah, they had a
They had
wild,
a wild card in
team.
CLG, basically 2 wild
Yeah.
cards. I love
Weird.
CLG,
Exactly.
but they're nothing but inconsistent.
Nothing but if but inconsistent, yeah. But I think every year, so that's Korea versus Korea, Korea versus China, Korea versus Korea. Are we gonna have another Korea versus Korea final?
Yes.
I mean, that's what I've just predicted.
Yeah.
I hate it. I think it's boring, but I don't know if any other teams can beat Longzhu or SKT in a BO5. The only way I think you don't get a Korea versus Korea final is if SKT and Longzhu are on the same side of the bracket in quarters, where they would play each other in semis, because I think Samsung could be beaten, but I don't think Longzhu or SKT will get beaten. So if you have SKT and Longzhu, kind of like the Rox SKT thing from last year, where they met in semis that really should have been the finals, I think that's the only way you have it.
And
not
to be
Korea
fair,
versus
like no
finals.
offense to Samsung Galaxy, but I felt like the winner of SKT Rocks last year was gonna be the winner of the.
Oh, 100%.
Because that series
was
was
fucking crazy.
bonkers.
I remember I was at bowling on Friday night, and I turned it on my phone on the Wi-Fi, just watching it in between frames, and all of a sudden I see, wait, that's a misfortune. Wait, that's a misfortune support, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
All I remember is that I was cleaning up at the country club that I worked at. I was cleaning up the golf balls. It was late. And then I just sat down on the putting green while everyone left and watched Prey hit that arrow all the way
Oh my
downtown.
god.
And I
to
just
stop
I started
right.
screaming. And then I had one of the like Hispanic custodian ladies come outside and say, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Oh my god, it's you!" And I was like, "Wait, why am I talking to her? She doesn't understand English." And then so, like literally, she could only say a few things. I'm not trying to meme. But,
Things you only hear in Texas, ladies and gentlemen.
God, it was so I could watch that thing on loop. That was such a hype thing. Like I want to find a place to watch SKT. I mean not SKT, the World's Finals again, because in season 4,
Did you check my Snapchat, Piper?
Fuck you.
Starhorn versus Samsung
my.
White. I watched it at a movie theater and it was awesome.
Public service announcement: in honor of Bethesda's 20th birthday, they are giving away Fallout for free on Steam. The first one.
Oh,
For free.
But it's still for free. So
Is the first Fallout good?
apparently
Now that I
it's
have
not
RP, it's
bad.
time to get my fucking.
I mean, it's old
Like-
school. It's from 1997. So,
Fair.
you're from 1997.
yeah.
Actually, I am.
Wait, are you for real?
Wait, you're
For real, I was born in '97.
Rich, you're
Yes.
20 years old.
Well, I'm 19, but my birthday's Monday.
Rich, you're 20 years old.
I'm 20 years old. Yeah. I'm young as shit. Has this not been established?
Why are you alive?
Wait,
Hey,
Eric.
guys, thanks for the talk. I'm dipping out.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah, let's
Been a-
wrap this up.
Oh my lord, yeah, it's been a long
It's
ass
been a
stream.
good time, but it's been an hour and a half, so
I think we had all of one person watching it at any given time, and
It's
one person
fine.
editing.
It's okay.
fine. They can
Watching.
watch it
It's
later.
okay. It's time. It's time spent with brothers.
I hate
Yay!
all of you.
Yeah, you're a young
I
man.
love you.
Well, from all of us here at the PMALCS, whatever the fuck we are group,
We're
thanks
calling
for-
this. We're calling this video "Eric and Sean Fight Forever." By the way,
Sure, whatever.
even though we like agreed on everything, but also disagreed on everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
Anyway,
Basically.
Spoiler alert: Sean wins.
thanks for having me. All right.
Wait, why'd you put the spoiler at the end of the video?